Speaker, I join the Prime Minister in paying tribute to Sergeant Dwayne Barwood, who was killed on Friday in Basra. His family live in my constituency, and our thoughts and prayers are with them as they honour his memory. Does the Prime Minister think that if he held a referendum on the Lisbon Treaty, he would win it?
Mr. Speaker, no country in Europe apart from Ireland is holding a referendum on the constitutional treaty.
Order. We won't start with shouting the Prime Minister down or the Leader of the Opposition. Prime Minister.
Speaker, if this was a constitutional treaty, we would hold a referendum. If there was a vote on a euro, we'd hold a referendum. But the constitutional concept was abandoned, and that's why the 9 countries who proposed a referendum, including Ireland, are not having a referendum. And the question that the opposition has got to answer is this. If after ratification they have a referendum, they're essentially renegotiating our membership of the European Union, and that would put thousands of jobs in this country at risk.
Everyone watching will see the Prime Minister will not answer the question. The truth is, all of us in this House promised a referendum. We have the courage of our convictions and are sticking to that promise. He has lost his courage, and that lot have lost their convictions. So let me ask him again. If he held a referendum, does he think he'd win it?
Speaker, the last time a referendum was held on Europe, it was won with a massive majority. And let me also say to him that the proposals that he puts forward puts our membership of the European Union at risk. And when will he not wake up to the fact that 3.5 million jobs are dependent on our membership of the European Union, that 700,000 companies are trading with Europe, that 60% of our trade is with Europe, and all that is put at risk by Conservative intransigence on Europe?
And answer came there none. He says that the constitutional concept has been abandoned, and yet this treaty includes an EU foreign minister, an EU president, an EU diplomatic service. I don't think Tony Blair is running for president of some feeble organisation. He's running to be president of the United States of Europe. This treaty gets rid of dozens of vetoes, and it gives the European Union, for the first time, the ability to get rid of further treaties without another treaty. If it looks like a constitution, it sounds like the Constitution, that's because it is the Constitution. Tony Blair found the courage to back a referendum. Why won't he?
Speaker, the Conservative Party is wrong. This is not the United States of Europe. The Conservative Party is wrong. Foreign policy is decided at an intergovernmental level. And as far as what he says about this institutional arrangement is concerned, what the former Chancellor says is what we have is now far less important than Maastricht, and they didn't have a referendum on Maastricht.
If he wants to trade quotes, why doesn't he try this one from the honourable member for Birmingham Edgbaston, who was actually Labour's appointment to the organisation to draw up the Constitution? She said, a referendum was promised, it should be delivered. If Labour can't trust the people, why should the people trust Labour? Doesn't the Prime Minister understand that this is one of the reasons why our political system is so badly broken? All 3 parties in this House made a promise to our constituents for a vote on the EU Constitution. When we turn round and say you can't have it anymore, it's no wonder people feel cheated, people feel cynical, because promises made are promises being broken. Why can't the Prime Minister see the damage that he's doing?
Mr. Speaker, I've explained to the House, if this was a constitutional treaty, we'd be having a referendum. The constitutional concept was abandoned. And if he wishes to persist in talking about the United States of Europe and a constitutional treaty, he has no support in the rest of Europe. Indeed, the only party that supports him in Europe, the Czech party, say the document is no constitution anymore. Now, Mr. Speaker, if his party had really changed and moved to the centre, he'd be standing up to his backbenchers, he'd be leading them instead of following them. He'd be standing up to the Eurosceptics instead of appeasing them. He'd be moving to the centre of Europe instead of being left at the margins of Europe.